So once you pick a character, you are thrown into World 1-1. You actually drop in from the door mentioned in the manual. That's some nice continuity there. And holy crap, we're dropping. I do wonder if this freaked anyone out when they first played it in 1988. Dropping in a platformer is always bad, but back in the 80s, it was almost always a guaranteed death sentence. So starting the game off by dropping you and not killing you, but causing the game to scroll, was a pretty ballsy choice. Eventually, you'll land at the base of a mountain where you find another door. And what's behind door number two? Well, why don't we find out? Oh, it's just more level. I mean, I was kind of hoping for a car, but more level is just as good. So, just like in the original Super Mario Bros., there are multiple levels in this game. In total, there are 7 worlds, which each have 3 levels each, except for World 7, which only has 2 levels. More on that later. So, that means that there are only 20 levels in this game, which is 12 less than Super Mario Bros. 1. That must mean that this is a shorter game, right? Oh, you sweet, naive fool. These levels are far larger and, quite frankly, far more detailed than the levels in Super Mario Bros. 1. Also, unlike in Super Mario Bros. 1, Super Mario Bros. 2's worlds each have their own unique theme. Kind of. Close enough for the 80s, anyways. World 1's theme is Grassland, which, ironically enough, became a series staple after this game. So, speaking of grass, flawless transition here, one of the new mechanics that I mentioned was the ability to pick vegetables. But there's a lot of other things that you can pull up from the ground, ranging from turtle shells to bombs to magic potions that open up doors to alternate realities. And before you post it, no, they are not Koopa shells, they are turtle shells, because people didn't care for a single second about continuity back in the day. But of course, these tools would be useless if you had nothing to use them on. Let's talk about the enemies in this game. We got some of my favorites here: the Shy Guys, the Sniffits, the Ninja. And of course, we can't forget my boy Tweeter over here. He's got 2 amazing appearances in this series: this game and as a hot dog in the live action movie. Don't let the enemies touch you, or you'll lose a heart and become a child. But you can easily get more hearts, both in the recovery sense and adding to your counter. To gain more hearts, all you gotta do is open a door to an alternate reality, and in certain locations, you can find a mushroom, which, if you pick up, will increase your total hearts. Until the end of the level. Speaking of levels, oh, these transitions are mwah, chef's kiss. This first level isn't as iconic as World 1-1 of SMB1, but it's still well designed. A good first level helps players get used to the mechanics of the game. And this one certainly gives you more than enough opportunities to learn. Towards the end of the level, you need to climb up a mountain. The vertical scrolling, as compared to the horizontal scrolling, brings about an interesting change in gameplay mechanics that really adds needed variety to the side scrolling platformer. Is something I would say if I wanted to be pretentious. Once you get to the top of the mountain, you'll run into Birdo, who acts as a mini boss throughout this entire game. This one's a pink one, so she'll shoot eggs at you. All you gotta do is pick up those eggs from the sky and throw them back at her. After 3 eggs hit Birdo, she dies, and she'll drop a pearl that you need to pick up, and then you walk into the mouth of a bird. If you found some coins by picking weeds in an alternate dimension, you can play some slots to gain some extra lives. Which is a real sentence that I just said to you. Anyways, you will be loaded into World 1-2, where your first task is to steal this guy's flying carpet to cross a bottomless pit. Once you're on the other side, you got to go into this jar to pick up a key to open a door to a cave. But be careful, because once you pick up the keys, masks will come flying in from nowhere and they will attempt to kill you. This game is wild, man. Once again, Birdo is the boss of this level. Trust me, you'll get sick of seeing this mug by the end of the game. Let's move on to World 1-3, which is a castle level. This time, we actually have to walk into the castle. You can warp to World 4 by entering an alternate dimension next to this jar, but once again, I enjoy playing through my games. This castle is interesting as it is vertical. I would recommend going up to pick up this key and then dropping to the bottom to open this door. You do not want to try this in the opposite order. Once you get to the end of the level, you'll find a pearl, but no Birdo. Walk into the mask gate and you'll be brought into a boss chamber. This boss is Mauser, who will throw an endless stream of bombs at you. All you gotta do is throw them back. This is easier said than done, as it's very likely that the bombs will explode on you, just like how those fireworks exploded in your uncle's hand during the 4th of July, traumatizing you for life. Anyways, repressed memories aside, after giving this explosive happy rat a taste of his own medicine 3 times, he dies. Which will open a door that will lead you to the next world, and more importantly, more slot machines. Well, there goes my future child's college fund.